We're not getting divorced. My wife said it so calmly that for a second, I almost forgot she was the one who had been lying to me. She stood in our kitchen barefoot, stirring coffee like we were discussing grocery lists instead of the thing that had quietly hollowed out 13 years of marriage. Morning light spilled across the counter. Her phone rested face down beside the sink. That had become a habit lately. Face down, password changed, late-night work calls, smiles that disappeared the second I walked into the room. "You're overthinking again," she added, brushing hair behind her ear, her tone soft enough to sound caring. "You always spiral when you're stressed." That word again, spiral. A neat little way of turning my instincts into instability. My name's Marcus, 43. I own a small HVAC repair business outside Columbus. Not glamorous, but steady. Honest work. The kind where people trust you to show up when things stop working. Funny thing is, I had spent months pretending not to notice the things breaking in my own house. My wife, Lena, had changed in ways too small to accuse, but too sharp to ignore. The unfamiliar perfume, the gym membership she suddenly cared about after years of hating treadmills. Her laughter, once warm and careless around me, now reserved for messages she hid behind tilted phone screens. Whenever I asked questions, she smiled like a patient doctor humoring someone irrational. "You're imagining things. You need to stop being paranoid. You know I love you." The scary part? Sometimes I believed her. Sometimes I hated myself for doubting her. And then she said it. "We're not getting divorced." Not "what's wrong," not "why are you upset," not even denial, just certainty. Like divorce had already entered the conversation somewhere I hadn't been invited. I stared at her. "That's a weird thing to say." She shrugged. "You've been acting distant." I know how men get dramatic when they feel insecure. Men get dramatic. That sentence sat in my chest all morning, because beneath her calm smile was something colder, confidence. Like she knew something I didn't. Like she thought the ending had already been decided. 3 nights later, I woke up at 2:14 a.m. Lena wasn't beside me. The television downstairs glowed faintly blue. I walked quietly toward the kitchen and stopped halfway down the hallway. Her voice, low, soft, almost laughing. "No, he still doesn't know." Silence. Then, "He wouldn't leave anyway." Something inside me folded inward. Not shattered. Folded. Slowly. Carefully, like paper collapsing under water. I stepped back before she saw me, spent the next hour sitting in my truck outside, gripping cold steering wheel leather while the street lights blurred. Maybe she was talking about a friend. Maybe there was context. Maybe. Funny how denial sounds compassionate when it's really fear. The next morning, she kissed my cheek. "You okay?" she asked sweetly. Sweetly. That word still disgusts me. Because manipulation rarely screams. Sometimes it smiles and pours coffee. If you've ever watched someone's mask crack once lies stop working, subscribe and tell me below, because at this point, I still hadn't realized how much worse it was about to get. A week later, Lena forgot her tablet at home. An accident, or arrogance. Hard to tell now. I wasn't snooping. At least, that's what I told myself. But when the screen lit up with a message preview, "Can't wait until he finally signs," my stomach dropped. Signs what? Hands shaking, I opened it. There were hundreds of messages, months of them. Her and a man named Trevor. Gym selfies, hotel photos, private jokes about me. about my routines, my habits, my trust. And then I found the part that changed everything. Not the affair, the plan. Trevor, you sure he'll agree? Lena, he doesn't have a choice. House is mostly in my name after refinance. Trevor, then what? Lena, he'll leave. We sell. I move in with you. Trevor, and if he fights? Lena, he won't. He's too soft. Too soft. I read that sentence 6 times. Not because it hurt, because it clarified something. This wasn't just betrayal, it was strategy, a performance. The gaslighting, the sweetness, the certainty. We're not getting divorced. Of course, because divorce implied negotiation. She expected surrender. That night, she came home carrying Thai takeout and fake warmth. "You seem sad," she said gently. "Thought we could reconnect." Reconnect. I almost laughed. Instead, I watched her move around our kitchen like an actress forgetting she was off stage. "How long?" I asked. She froze. "What?" "How long have you been sleeping with him?" Her face changed so fast it almost impressed me. Confusion, offense, anger, then tears. The whole playbook. "Marcus, oh my God," she whispered. "You really think that?" Gaslighting. Step 1. I slid the tablet onto the counter. Silence. Her confidence disappeared first. Then came fury. "You went through my things?" Interesting, right? Not denial. Never denial. "You said I was soft," I said quietly. She looked away. "You manipulated me into thinking I was crazy." "Because you overreact," she snapped. There it was, the mask slipping. Sharp edges beneath polished calm. "You've been emotionally unavailable for years," she continued quickly. "Do you know how lonely I've been?" Blame shifting. Step 3. Then tears again. "I didn't mean for this to happen." Pleading. Step 4. By midnight, she sat across from me, trembling into cold tea. "I made mistakes," she whispered. "But we can fix this." I looked at the woman I loved for 13 years and realized something terrifying. I didn't know her. Maybe I never had. "You said we weren't getting divorced," I said. Her eyes widened. "I didn't mean—" "No," I interrupted softly. "You meant exactly what you said." For the first time, she looked scared, not guilty, scared, because certainty had disappeared. The next month was paperwork, lawyers, bank records. Turns out refinancing didn't protect her nearly as much as she thought. Turns out hiding assets and planning financial manipulation looks ugly in court. Trevor disappeared fast. Apparently, loyalty fades when consequences arrive. Lena texted me paragraphs, apologies, memories, promises, late-night calls I never answered. "You're throwing away our marriage," she wrote once. And maybe this sounds cold, but that message finally made me laugh, because she had mistaken patience for weakness, love for blindness, silence for surrender. The last thing I ever said to her was standing outside the courthouse. She looked smaller somehow, less certain. "Marcus," she whispered, eyes wet. "Please don't do this." I held the door open and met her stare. "You already did." Then I walked away, and for the first time in years, the silence felt honest.